It's GSR here. So let's talk about active frames, or basically how to understand active frames, right? So we're gonna go for Johnny Cage's classic shadow kick, and we're gonna use Gears' quicksand move, which I think that's what it's called, right? Okay, cool. I still remember that surprisingly. Okay, so if you look, it's hitting on the first active frame, which is 11 frames, right? Now, what happens if I back up? See how the active frames change? Now, you guys are probably feeling a little perplexed trying to comprehend where I'm going with this, so just let me further elaborate. There's some math that you actually have to do when it comes to the active frames. Understanding active frames is going to be really important, especially when going for meaty situations, which I'll show you guys a clear example of that with Baraka. So as you can clearly see, active for 4 frames, right? Now you guys may think, well, it still says 11 frames. I mean, like, it's still quick. That's not true at all, actually. It actually comes out even higher on startup. Now you guys are probably like, the fuck? Remember, the first active frame, right, is 11 frames on startup, right? That's it. Now, see how it's saying 8, right? So I'm gonna get it back to 4 real quick, or at least, okay, I guess 6. You know what? No, fuck that. We're going back to 4, baby. There we go. So as you can clearly see, right, 4 frames. So what you want to do is that you want to add those active frames to your startup time, right? So since you already activated the move, shred off 1 frame from those active frames and add the last 3 frames. So basically, what is that? That's 12, 13, 14. So he has a 14 frame shadow kick, basically. Because it's hitting on a later active frame. Because the move is still active. So like if I did it from far away, watch this. 11. The full amount is 11 active frames, right? So like I said, shred off 1 active frame because you already activated the move. And since you did that, like what you actually want to do is like you want to, I mean, you can get a calculator out. It's easier that way. It's really up to you. And what you want to do is, since, and keep in mind, since you already activated the move, shred off 1 frame every single time, right? This goes for any move basically, right? So what do we have? We have startup time of 11 frames. And what do? We add those 10 active frames, because like I said, take off 1 active frame because you already activated the move. And you basically want to do 11 plus what? 10. 10 active frames, which means that Johnny Cage's shadow kick, right, is coming out at 21 frames, right? So what we're going to do here is we're going to test this shit out, right? So we're going to do it right here, right? So as you can clearly see, Gears' quicksand move is hitting on the first active frame. But if I was to back up real quick, see that? It's coming out at a slower time. So if you do 17 plus 2 active frames, that's actually coming out at 19 frames, right? So what I'm going to do here, right, is I'm going to block this, and you're going to notice that I'm going to hit on the first active frame, which is 11 frames. All right, so now we're going to do it right here. See that? It's still hitting on the first active frame, right? So it's still coming out at 17 frames. Now we're going to hit it. So he's minus 19 on block. See this? 11 frames. So you shred off 1 frame and you add those 3 frames. So what is that? That's 11. Okay, and then we got 12, 13, 14. So I hit him, you know, in the 14th frame or whatever. Basically, like the startup time, it's 14 frames. It's not 11 frames anymore because you're hitting it on a later active frame. So keep that in mind, right? So if you're wondering, like, how the fuck am I not punishing this guy? It's 11 frames. Now you know why, right? So let's see here. All right, so we'll do it right there. So it's hitting on the first active frame. So right here, right? I'm still able to punish him. And as you can clearly see, my active frames is now 9. Now, what did I say before? I'm gonna keep saying it so that way it registers inside you guys' head, right? You want to shred off 1 frame and you want to do 11 plus 8 active frames, and that'll come out at 19 frames. But because we went for a reversal, remember what I told you guys in that video about reversals, right? if you go for a reversal, it will shred off one frame, which in a weird way you're basically +1, and that's the only reason why I was able to punish him. Now, if I didn't go for a reversal, I'm not gonna get a punish. You see that? Now, obviously, you know, you can hop up and punish his recovery. I mean, that's a way to do it, or you could flawless block gears and then punish him that way. And sometimes you're gonna have no choice but to do that from this range when you're using Johnny Cage or certain other characters as well. So hopefully this was actually helpful, but before I go, I'm actually going to show you guys a prime example with Baraka, right? So it doesn't matter who I use. So we'll just do this here. Frost. Oh, my baby girl Frost. Man, it's funny because I'm kind of training with this variation right here, because I was thinking about picking up Frost too, because I am training with Nightwolf as well. I'm trying to come up with some interesting variations and stuff like that with Nightwolf, because his other Tomahawk shit is weird as fuck. Like, I don't know why they added that if it's not going to be useful. But that's just my opinion. Of course, why are you being so negative? You know, always on somebody, it's always somebody on the period, man. But anyway, so what I'm gonna do is like, I'm just gonna knock her down, and as you can clearly see, it hit on the first active frame. Now, if you look at his down 4, right? His down 4 is 15 frames on startup, and he's +1 on block, right? I have her on auto guard for a reason. So I can move 24 frames before the opponent can, which is actually really good. But because of the BS defensive options, you already know where I'm going with that. So if I hit on the later active frame, see how it said 2 active frames right here? Because I'm hitting on a later active frame, that means my startup time is going to change. And since you already activated the move on that first available frame, you're just going to add one more active frame to it, and it'll come out at 16 frames. This is no longer 15 frames, right? So what I'm going to do here, right, is I'm going to do it correctly right here. And as you can clearly see, all of a sudden I'm +2 on block, when originally, right, Baraka's +1. So keep in mind, that's what meaties consist off of, basically. So hopefully you guys are learning stuff. It's kind of funny because, like, you know, I do know quite a bit of shit. It's just that I don't care enough to apply it in an actual match. I don't know why. It's one of those things where it's just like, you know, like, I just don't care about it, but I know about shit. That's the weird part about it. But it is what it is. But I hope that you guys understand about active frames now, and you guys can use this effectively, whatever character that you're using, and you practice this and you're like, okay, wow, that's actually really useful. That's great. So now you guys understand active frames. I'm pretty sure you guys understand, you know, the startup time and, you know, the block advantage and stuff like that. And, you know, if I missed anything about active frames, I'm pretty sure you guys could probably go to somebody else's video and probably find some more details about it or something, because I probably just don't remember it or whatever, because, you know, your boy be busy and shit with college and work. But hopefully you guys are doing well out there. Be safe out there. And with that being said, what time is it? I gotta go to work right now. So I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.